When we hear the word jail, we usually think of a place for people. But for many dogs there's a different kind of jail. This place is called an animal shelter or sometimes a pound. It's not a place for bad dogs. It's actually a place for lost or homeless dogs. They wait there, hoping for a family to come and take them home. This waiting place can really feel like a jail because the dogs are in small spaces. They just don't have the freedom to run and play whenever they want. They live in a kennel, which is kind of like a small room, often with a concrete floor and metal bars. These dogs honestly need our help to find their forever homes. A dog's life in a shelter is very structured. They wake up at the same time every day. Workers and volunteers come by to clean their kennels. They get food and water at specific times. They might get a short walk or some time in a play yard, but, that time is often pretty limited. There are so many other dogs around and it can be very loud with all the barking. This constant noise can be really stressful for a dog. They miss the quiet comfort of a real home. They miss having their own person to love and follow around all day. The lack of constant human companionship is the hardest part of this life. The environment in a shelter is full of new smells and sounds. For a dog, this can be just overwhelming. They're surrounded by the sense of many other animals, some of whom are scared or anxious. This creates an atmosphere of stress that all the dogs can feel. A dog's powerful sense of smell tells them a lot about their surroundings, and in a shelter the message is often one of uncertainty and fear. They can't relax the way they would in a home. They're always on alert, wondering what will happen next. That's why a calm and balanced energy from people is so important in a shelter setting. Imagine living in a small room day after day. You see new faces pass by, but no one chooses you. This is the reality for many shelter dogs. They see other dogs leave with happy families, but they remain behind. This can make a dog feel sad and hopeless. They need exercise, discipline, and affection to stay balanced. In a shelter, getting all three of these things consistently can be very difficult. The workers do their best, but there are just so many dogs to care for. Each dog waits patiently, holding on to the hope that their special person will walk through the door one day and set them free from their jail. Some dogs find a home in just a few days. Others, though, wait for months or even years. There are so many reasons why a dog might stay in a shelter for a long time. One big reason is their breed. Some breeds, like pit bulls or Rottweilers, have a bad reputation. People might think they're aggressive, even when they're actually very sweet and gentle. This misunderstanding, often coming from a lack of knowledge, can make it hard for them to get adopted. These dogs really need a chance to show their true, loving nature. It's not the breed that matters, but the individual dog's energy and personality. Another reason for a long stay is age. Many people want a cute, playful puppy. They often overlook the older dogs. Senior dogs are wonderful companions. They're usually calmer and already trained. But people worry about having less time with them, or about potential health problems. This means that sweet, gentle senior dogs can spend their golden years waiting in a kennel instead of resting on a soft bed in a loving home. They have so much love left to give, but they're passed over for younger dogs. We must remember that age is just a number, and an old dog's love is truly priceless. Health issues or special needs can also make adoption difficult. A dog might need daily medication, a special diet, or help getting around. Some people feel they just do not have the time or money to care for a dog with special needs. These dogs require a special kind of person with a big heart and a lot of patience. A dog that is blind, deaf, or has a physical disability is just as capable of giving and receiving love. They just need someone willing to adapt and provide the extra care they require. Their spirit is strong, even if their body has challenges. Finally, a dog's behavior can be a barrier. A dog that is very shy or fearful might hide in the back of its kennel. They don't show well to potential adopters. People walking by might not even notice them. A dog that is too energetic and jumps or barks a lot might also scare people away. This is often just a sign of stress from being in the shelter. They need a calm, assertive leader to help them learn good manners and feel secure. With a little training and patience, these dogs can become amazing family members. Their behavior in a kennel is not always who they truly are. The story of the longest stay in a dog jail is a sad but hopeful one. It belongs to a dog named Chester. He was a beautiful pit bull mix. Chester arrived at the Animal Ark shelter in New York when he was just a young dog. No one could have imagined how long he would have to wait for his forever home. Day after day, Chester watched other dogs come and go. He saw families smiling as they left with their new pets. He waited for his turn, but his turn did not come for a very, very long time. For 5 long years, the shelter was his only home. Chester was a good dog. The shelter staff and volunteers loved him very much. They said he was a sweet and affectionate boy who loved to cuddle, but potential adopters kept passing him by. Part of the problem was his breed. As a pit bull mix, he faced a lot of prejudice. People saw his strong-looking face and assumed the worst, not taking the time to see the gentle soul inside. He was also a big, strong dog, which can intimidate some families who are looking for a smaller pet. Chester's appearance was working against him, hiding the loving companion he was ready to be. During his 5 years, which is over 1,800 days, Chester's life was a routine. He had his kennel, his food, his water, and short periods of playtime. The volunteers did their best to give him love and attention. They would take him for walks and give him special treats. But a shelter is no substitute for a real home. He spent most of his time alone in his kennel, waiting. Think about how long 5 years is in a dog's life. It was a huge part of his existence. He grew from a young dog into an adult dog, all within the walls of the shelter. As the years went on, the shelter staff worried that Chester would never be adopted. They watched him get sadder and more withdrawn. A dog's spirit can be broken by such a long wait. To help him, they decided to try something new. They made a Facebook page for him. They posted a picture of Chester looking very sad, with a sign that read, "Why doesn't anybody want me? I've been waiting 5 years." They hoped that social media could help tell his story to more people. They hoped someone out there would see past his breed and see the lonely dog who just wanted a family. The Facebook post for Chester changed everything. It was a powerful message from a lonely dog. The picture of his sad face and the sign asking why nobody wanted him went viral. People all over the country, and even around the world, saw it. They shared his story thousands of times. The shelter's phone started ringing constantly. Suddenly everyone wanted to know about Chester. It was amazing to see how many people cared. The post touched the hearts of so many. They saw not just a pit bull but a dog who was lonely and desperate for love. Soon after the post went viral, a family came to meet him. A woman named Dana and her husband and 2 children saw Chester's story online and felt an immediate connection. They drove to the shelter to meet him in person. When they saw him, they knew he was the dog for them. They saw his sweet nature and his gentle spirit. They were not afraid of his breed or his size. They saw a dog who had been waiting patiently for a family just like theirs. It was the moment Chester had been waiting for his entire life. The long, lonely years were finally coming to an end. On a happy day in June 2015, Chester left the shelter for the last time. He walked out the door with his new family, ready to start his new life. He finally had a home, a soft bed, and a yard to play in. He had people who loved him and would never leave him. Pictures of Chester in his new home showed a completely different dog. He was smiling, relaxed, and full of joy. He loved cuddling on the couch with his new family. The sadness that had been in his eyes for 5 years was gone, replaced by happiness and contentment. Chester's story has a very happy ending. It teaches us an important lesson about patience and hope. It also shows us the power of giving rescue dogs a second chance. We should not judge a dog by its breed, its age, or how it acts in a stressful shelter. Every dog deserves a loving home. Chester's long, lonely wait in his jail was over, but many other dogs like him are still waiting. His story inspires us to look closer at the dogs in shelters, to open our hearts, and to remember that the perfect dog for us might just be the one who has been waiting the longest.